Welcome to Civil Discourse. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Steve, and we'll be giving you today's political news from both sides of the aisle. Today, we're going to be talking about this whole entire Russia thing. Steve, I know that this is a great subject for you. They're saying they got Obama in the crosshairs right now. All of a sudden, there's no longer talking about Epstein. We're now talking about Russia hoax.
I mean, right. It is what it is, right? I mean, it was a hoax, and the Mueller report proved that. The 52 intel people that signed off on the Russia thing, it was all a lie. And for anybody on the other side to say otherwise is foolish. I mean, it's right in your face that it was a bold-faced lie, and people are like, no.
Let me go ahead and read the report to give people a context of what we're now discussing. Tulsi Gabbard details bombshell claims of Obama-era cabal's treasonous conspiracy against Trump. Cabal. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard detailed striking findings from a declassified documents released Friday, claiming to showcase overwhelming evidence that an Obama-era cabal laid the groundwork for what would be the years-long Trump-Russia collusion probe after the 2016 election. The implications of this are frankly nothing short of historic, Gabbard said on this week's Sunday Morning Futures. Over 100 documents that were released on Friday really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office after President Trump had already gotten elected. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious it should concern every single American because it has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic, she continued. Documents shared by Tulsi Gabbard's office claimed that before the 2016 election, there was no evidence showing Russia tried to directly alter vote counts. However, members of the intelligence community later suggested that Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to help Trump win. Gabbard argues the narrative shift was politically motivated rather than based on new findings. Creating this piece of manufactured intelligence that claims that Russia had helped Donald Trump get elected contradicted every other assessment that had been made previously in the months leading up to the election that said exactly the opposite, that Russia had neither the intent nor the capability to try to hack the United States elections, Gabbard told host Maria Bartiromo. So basically they're coming out saying that Russia, to me, it's almost a weird kind of a finding that she has right here. So they're saying that, I didn't hear anyone say that Russia directly changed vote counts. I know that you had spoke about that earlier when we talked. I never heard that, and I never believed that. I don't believe that Russia changed any vote tallies or anything like that. But do I believe that they tried to use bots and other forms of social media to push?
I'm sure they did.
And I'm sure they did as well, too. And I think that that's the part that's bad. Not that I think Trump was elected fair and square. 2016, 2024, I think he won because of the people. People came out and voted. They spoke.
But here's the issue. Back when you and I were talking before this, there were presidential daily briefings in December of 2016 that stated that Russia was there, yes, but they weren't, like you said, they weren't doing anything with voting. I mean, they weren't changing votes. They weren't hacking into voting systems. They weren't doing any of that. Influence-wise, you're going to have that every election cycle. It's getting worse now with AI and, the bots and networks that these are enemies, which you and I both agree they're enemies.
We agree, because when we talked about this earlier, Steve,
it took me a little bit to say it, but
I said, hey, do you believe that Russia's our enemy? I want to give context to the audience here.
Go ahead.
And Steve sat there and he was like,
yes. But
he said yes. He did say yes after a while. But
I did say yes, but here's the issue why I say that. Again, we talked about this beforehand. You have to at some point, and I know you don't agree with this, you have to at some point bring those bad actors over to your side at some point, because this world, if we don't, the world won't exist. It may not exist before our lives are over, because nobody wants to make peace, and that's scary to me.
Let me say this. I think that makes sense in a lot of standpoints, but not with Russia, because it makes sense with a country like if Saudi Arabia was our enemy, which in parts they do things that are counter to us. or like Iran, or like, you know what I mean, some other country that's not almost a direct polar opposite of us. You have a country like Trump, like Russia, who has more nuclear weapons than the United States has, who is directly involved in. They have, okay, I always talk about this all the time. Population wise, Russia's at 140 million people or so. By the year 2100, they'll be at 110 million people. They just lost 1 million people, of men mostly, of military age. These are people who can have kids, who are vibrant type individuals that can actually help their society. They just lost that.
You know how they could fix that though. How we used to do mail order brides from Russia. Now they can do mail order grooms from the United States and other countries. That no one wants to go there.
They don't have but they don't have the. I love the idea, but they don't have the GDP. They don't have the money. There's nothing that you can supply for us to want to go there. You know what I mean? They live so badly in that country. Not everyone, but
yeah. To get back to the Russia thing, now we know that even prior to the Epstein thing, there was rumblings about what was going on, about how John Brennan and Clapper and other people in the intel community had signed off on the 52 people from the intel community signed off on that document saying that the Russia thing was true. Well, it wasn't. We know that.
We
know now.
About the dossier, correct?
Yeah. Years later, we know now that that's not the case, and it was still pushed. Brennan, even though he knew for a fact that it was not true, he put it in the intelligence assessment, and that to me. That right there should have been grounds for. I mean, I wouldn't call it treason. That's not treason, but it is subverting the election process. It is subverting the national interests of this country.
So do we not consider the fact that Trump came out when he came out? Okay, he had a number of his staff had ties to Russia. A number of them. When you went going from what's the guy? I don't want to go over the names.
But it wasn't proven. It wasn't
Paul Manafort.
Proven.
Paul Manafort had ties to Russia. Paul Manafort.
But the influence peddling wasn't proven.
So now listen. So
it was all made up.
He also had a meeting, not him, but his kids and several other people from his staff. I think Jared Kushner was there as well, with Russians to try and dig up dirt on Hillary Clinton. Now let me finish. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah,
okay, that's another thing. Then you have the people who he put in his staff have ties to Russia. You have Trump, who was so bad in debt when he was in the business world that the only banks he could get loans from were Russian-tied banks. He had the fact that Trump had sold one of his condominiums or something like that to a Russian, quote unquote mobster dude for way above market value. I mean, like $30 million or something like that above market value. It was like how the place was worth like 50. He sold it for 90 or something like that to him. You know what I mean? Like there is steps that you can see that where there could be some type of collusion going on there. So to me, for the intelligence community to take that and investigate that deeply, I think that's good business. We should. And then this guy comes in.
Listen, I don't disagree with that. But when it's proven false, you don't keep going with the narrative. You stop the narrative. You stop putting it in intelligence assessment.
Of the dossier. I believe that. But when we look at him again, he's doing the same exact thing again. He's brought in, look at Tulsi, the person who brought this to the table, Tulsi Gabbard, the same person. He said, I don't care what she says. Yeah, she said, Marie said, I don't care what she says. They're like, oh, Tulsi Gabbard says that, something about I forget what you're talking about. It's like there was no,
but it's still, but the problem
Iran had no we're not trying to pick up nuclear weapons. He came on and said he doesn't care what she said. Now all of a sudden she's the hero. She's the one who saved him from this whole Epstein thing.
That's not the case. It was out before the Epstein case. It was out before all that. It just wasn't as publicized because the only people publicizing it were people on the right. Even today, you can go out to NBC News, MSNBC.
It was dropped on Friday.
I get that, but it was prior to the Epstein stuff weeks ago. There was already rumblings about Brennan weeks ago because everybody knew he lied about it.
But Trump's been saying this for years. Why didn't he do something about this his first term?
Could it be a deflection? I don't know. What do you mean? He did talk about it his first term.
Why? Okay, he had all the same people.
He talked about it. He talked about it the whole damn time during Biden's
So why didn't he have? If it were this easy for Tulsi Gabbard to get the information, why didn't his last DNI, I believe it was, get it? get the information last time when he was in on. He could have easily gotten the same information then. Why is it all of a sudden now there's a bombshell that really is not a bombshell? Because you're not. If it were a bombshell, you should have arrested somebody. You should have gotten charges already. She could have done it.
You know what? You can say the same thing about the Epstein files too.
Well, no,
it was a bombshell. It was a bombshell. You could have released it. Separate. 100%. You could have dropped it.
Not the same thing. Not the same thing at all. And you know it's not the same thing.
It is.
You know that it's not. How is it that if this? Okay, so the fact of the matter,
how many people over the? Why not this week?
Why not release the files then? She released these files. They had no problem releasing this stuff. Got it out of there real quick, huh? They were happy to do it.
Why didn't the Biden administration release them?
They couldn't. Okay, actually, no.
How many people I heard on the left say this week that got
couldn't release the files?
Why?
They couldn't release the files because at the time that Joe Biden was in office, they were still under a federal hold. All the files were under a federal hold at that time. It's something I just found out about.
But
the Washington Post reported on this.
He has the ability, and so does the Attorney General, to do that.
Not when a judge has it under. No, it's a judge had the files under a hold during the Biden administration. I looked it up on the Washington Post. They actually showed like the whole layout of this whole entire, how it played out, and they said this is why the Biden. Not trying to say he would have done it anyways. So I don't believe he would have. I believe there's people in this file.
That was a big question this week from Republicans to Democrats was, well, why didn't Biden use it? And none of the Democrats could answer the question. They would just bypass it. And that to me, it shows a direct reflection of the hypocrisy that exists. You're going to sit there and say, well, why didn't he do this? Why didn't he release them prior from 2016 to 2020? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what was classified and allowed to be released at the time. But now it's been declassified, and now they can release them.
But all I'm saying is this: it just seems real strange on timing because there's a there, as they say. Why not go and arrest Comey? There's nothing to talk about. We need to come out and say, "Oh, we have Obama." You just putting out names.
Well, now they referred it to the DOJ for prosecution. So yeah, they're going to wind up. They could wind up arresting those guys.
Who? Not Obama.
Brennan, Comey, Clapper, Obama. Because Obama knew about it.
You can't arrest Obama. You can't arrest him.
Why?
Why? Because of the same thing the Supreme Court just did for Trump. You made him a king, retroactive. Any presidential action. Yeah. You can't arrest him. Isn't that a horrible thing that you can't go after? You can't go after the ringleader, alleged ringleader of this.
But the thing is,
you want to go after.
What, Obama? No, he's not the one. He's not the one making up the ICAs. He's not making up the intelligence assessments.
But if he's allowing,
that was Brennan, Clapper, and Comey.
I mean, let's see what happens. I believe that Comey did Trump a bigger favor than anyone in the 2016 election when he released Hillary's emails or whatever that was. Yeah, I mean, right?
She got away with that. I mean, that he didn't want to refer that for prosecution because of the election.
Because there was no prosecution to be had. There was nothing to prosecute on.
Up. Listen,
there was nothing to prosecute.
She was under an order not to touch any of those devices or do anything to those servers, and she broke 12 devices, bit a server to get all her emails off of it.
I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't. If I had one of my other buddies from the right, he could tell. I don't know about that part. I hadn't heard about that, seriously. Or else I hadn't heard.
What are you living in a cave?
Yes, right now I am.
Cave the last 8 years, man.
I mean, because I don't listen to conspiracies from the right. You guys are always conspiracy. Everything is conspiracy. Oh, Hillary did this.
That is true to fact.
I feel like Hillary is a sore loser. When she lost, she should. I came out the night that she was getting trounced during the during the 2016 election, during the day of the vote, and I was like, you know what, man, just go ahead and concede. It's over. You lost. I knew she lost. I voted for Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? Not to say that,
surprise me.
Because I feel like she'd have been a better president than Trump. We wouldn't be in half the stuff that we're dealing with right now if it were not for this dude we got in office right now. He's the worst president we've ever had in our lifetime. In our lifetime, he's the worst president I've ever had. Him and George W. Bush. Those two are the worst two presidents.
James
I don't think he would. No, our lifetime. In your life,
I believe. Are we talking about our lifetime? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe not our lifetime.
Donald Trump. Trump and Bush. Trump and Bush are the two worst. And for him to try and for you guys to sit back and let him distract you.
I think Biden was the worst president, but wait, are we
serious?
quasi-president because he wasn't running. He wasn't running anything. So,
are you serious? Biden got more stuff done than most presidents. I mean, this is just me saying this from a standpoint of he got more laws passed with bipartisan votes than I think anyone since probably George W. Bush. And the only reason Bush got laws passed with bipartisan because he had 9/11. So people were pushed into passing things with him, like the Patriot Act and horrible other laws that he pushed on us. You know what I mean? So let's be real here. I mean, that guy did a lot more.
You have your opinion. I have mine. Okay.
You look at what look who drove the national debt the most of any other president was Donald Trump. Did it in 4 years. This guy's horrible. He's horrible. I'm not going to debate the fact that you know what happened. We don't have to say what happened. It's messed up when you have to it's messed up when 9/11 happened.
When you spend $5 trillion for COVID relief, of course.
When 9/11 happened.
That wasn't near as bad as COVID. They didn't shut down the whole damn country during 9/11.
Economic crisis. I mean, there's a lot.
Compared to 9/11 compared to COVID was not even close.
The reason why you shut down the whole country is because you chose not. We aren't going to need to go at this, but the reason why you shut down the country is because you chose not to dignify what was going on with a real response. That was his fault that we had to do that. It's true.
That's BS.
True.
That's factual. It's not factual.
How many times factual, and I know it.
Okay, so when he tried to shut down planes coming from China, he was called a xenophobe, a racist.
Oh yeah, that's going to stop it all. That's going to stop everything.
It might have helped
from China.
It might have helped.
Oh God, that
we already know where it's coming from, right?
That made it spread.
We already knew where it was coming from. The China virus. It was the China virus.
Hey, you guys are. Why do y'all? I need to know this. This is a real question.
What are you?
Why are you guys still? You're allowed to say whatever you want. You can.
Are you not allowed to say where the virus came from?
You called it the China virus, though.
Yes, because it originated in China, right?
That's
why is that crazy?
The China virus. So I've never heard of a virus saying something like, you know what I mean? Hey, or maybe the Spanish flu when you heard that, but I'm not even saying.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
But it's not even saying it. But it's not even saying it's from Spain. It's not even saying it's from Spain. Call something Spanish. There's Spanish-speaking people all over the world. It really doesn't determine it's from Spain. They didn't even name it that.
Virus.
You know what I mean? Like,
flu came from Spain.
That doesn't say that it came from Spain. It says Spanish flu. It could be called Spain flu if it were coming from Spain.
You want me to look it up?
Spanish is a language. All I'm saying is this right here. Why are you guys so beholden to this guy? Like everything he does. I mean, you guys.
To him.
I don't know, man. Like you guys, it's the China virus. It's China. That's horrible to think that he makes mistakes every single day. Every single day he makes mistakes. He lies every day. And
every president makes mistakes every day.
Every day. Every day. No.
Every day.
No.
Nobody's infallible. Nobody's infallible.
That doesn't make you infallible. You just don't have to make a mistake every day. Every day. That's a lot of mistakes, man.
Every day. Come on now. That's exaggerating. That's exaggerating. You know what I mean? So you just like him. He exaggerates everything too. I'm going to end this on the first day. And now he's trying to bring this up as an actual thing to where you want us to distract ourselves and say, oh, let's care if Comey or Brennan get convicted. No one cares. Nobody cares about that. You know what we do care about? You should care. Because your intelligence agencies lied to you directly to your face, made up shit just to the Russia hoax. I thought you guys said the dossier was made by Hillary Clinton. Okay, it was, but the intelligence community. Hold on, the intelligence community used that for their intelligence assessments. Directly used the dossier. Was anyone convicted of? I mean, was anyone convicted based off the dossier? Not yet. No, I'm saying, was anyone convicted off of what they're saying? This happened. It ended up allegedly not being true. Not yet. Which I believe that's parts of this. I won't say the dossier because I don't know what's in that, but I believe that a large parts of this whole Russia thing has legs. I mean, look, he's giving this guy how much time to keep on taking over Ukraine? Oh, 50 more days. We're gonna make something bad happen to you guys. 50 more days. This dude, man, come on, man. When does it become a real thing? Is he afraid of Putin? Why? I mean, I think that when you start looking at all the things in 3 years that he had that war going on, absolutely
not. 1 million people.
All he did was give weapons.
1 million bodies dropped. 1 million bodies dropped.
Give weapons.
And 1 million bodies dropped.
Do nothing else. You didn't even try to negotiate a peace deal with him. Not even
there was no peace deals to negotiate. He wants the peace deal. He just told Trump what he wanted.
Biden was too lazy to do it because he knew he couldn't.
He just told Trump what he wanted. He said, I ain't stopping until I get everything. He told Trump that already. The peace deal with him was like this. Let's negotiate.
Obama let him do what he wanted.
Let's negotiate.
You had Obama let him do what he wanted to Crimea. You had and Syria, by the way, and you had Biden let him do what he wanted to Ukraine.
Syria. That's not true at all about Syria.
That is so true.
And Biden and under Biden's rule.
Hold on, Obama put a red line on Russia and didn't do anything about it. Russia and Syria and didn't do anything about it. He let him cross that red line. So we didn't have.
We were not funding troops in Syria already. We just didn't want to go into Syria. We were funding troops. Okay, let me say this to you. A week after the election happened in November,
I have a red line.
Wait. A week after this last election, when Kamala Harris and Trump were running, do you know that a week after that, the new leader in Syria overthrew? That's when Assad fled.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why? Because we gave the okay to go in there and get that done. We just didn't want the fight to happen before. We just didn't want a war start to pop off before an election happened. That's the only reason why. That's from.
But what happened after? What happened to
and
Syria?
That's from Biden setting the groundwork for this to happen this way.
You had ISIS running rampant during the Obama administration.
Yeah, when Trump took over. No. You know who else? What else is going on there? We were funding militants in Syria as well. That's what led the way for where we're at right now. And what happened when Trump took over? He pulled us back. He pulled us back and kept us around the oil fields. I don't believe that at all. I mean, no, Obama was out of office.
You don't believe it. You don't believe it because
Obama was out of office. Trump failed. Trump failed the Syrians. That's who failed him.
Trump took out ISIS. Hello.
Come on, man. He did not take.
Come on, you are so out of it.
Crazy.
Trump took out ISIS.
Okay,
he did.
Right now, Al Qaeda, people who ran Al Qaeda are running Syria right now.
We're not talking about Al Qaeda. We're talking about ISIS. Completely.
ISIS was mostly in other countries besides Syria. They were there too, but they were mostly in other countries besides Syria. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Trump deferred from our duties with the militants that we had set up in Syria, helping to fund the anti-Assad group. That's what happened when he came into office. He pulled all of our troops back out, let them bomb, let Russia come in there and wipe out the resistance. That's what happened. It was during Biden's time. That was set up for this new guy.
We still had a presence.
Let's be honest.
In Syria.
Trump had nothing to do with that.
We had base camps
around the oil. We still got them there now. Around the oil fields. That's it. They were not fighting. They were not helping to fight. They were not doing anything at all. They were not funding military groups. Nothing. This was during Biden's term. Now we have a new regime in Syria. That's what happened during Biden's term.
Shot at by Iran.
You know what kind of a loss that was for Russia and Putin. To lose Assad and to lose Syria, that's a huge loss for them to take. That's a scar on their face. For Syria was backed by Russia. That's why he fled there after once we had our militant groups go in and take over. So we know. I mean, so that says a lot for Biden and what he did during his time in office. Trump has done nothing. He lied. He came out and said that on day one, I'm going to stop the war in Ukraine. He did. Did he say that?
Yeah,
is that true? Yeah. And what has he done? And what's happened since then? They've had some of the bloodiest days of the war. I think the most bloodiest days of the war has happened under his watch. No. He's done nothing. Yes.
Hell no. There are already millions.
They just talked about it. I think the bloodiest days. I'm saying recently when some of the biggest bombings
died. No. Stop. Yeah. The millions of people died prior to Trump coming in office. Period.
Bloodiest days. Because I'm talking about days. Individual days.
Do anything about it.
No, you know what happens?
Biden was an absentee president. Period.
That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
No, it's not. We already know. It's going to come out, and you know it is. It's
crazy talk. No, I don't know that. But listen, what I do know is this.
You don't want to realize it or admit it, but you know it's
what I do know is that if a sovereign nation is attacked, there is going to be bloodshed, right or wrong. If a country attacks the United States, are we going to fight?
Yes.
And that's what Ukraine did, and that is why there's bloodshed. That's why there's bodies. And what we did was we gave them weapons to help defend themselves, and they've done a hell of a job to defend themselves, right or wrong. For them being such
I'm not gonna disagree.
Hell of a job. They've killed over 1 million of our enemies. Russians are enemies right now. I would wish Russia wasn't our enemy, but they have no choice but to be our enemy because they are a declining population. They have to regain the former Soviet blocks. They have to. There's no other way for them to survive.
Listen, I'm not gonna disagree because I don't know the demographics of Russia. I don't know the demographics of Ukraine. So I'm not going to fight you on that.
32, I think there's 30-something million people in Ukraine, 30, almost 40 million people in Ukraine. Imagine putting that on top of 140-something million Russians right there. Then imagine going and grab.
That's 3 New York cities or three.
It doesn't matter, man. It's
one New York state.
What you're getting in, and what you're getting is I know that Russia and Ukraine account for like 50 or 60% of the world's wheat output. It's a lot of other things that you're getting. Besides, you got Crimea, they got access to, getting access to the Black Sea and moving all kinds of stuff they get from this. Now on top of that, they get oil, they get all rare earth minerals, all that stuff, along with the 30-something million people to put back into your population. Now you go out and you say you get Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, and that's another, say, the 12 million, 15 million people right there.
Okay, so and, let's go back to the original point. Can I ask a question and be honest with me? Do you think it's okay for them to have lied on their intelligence assessments?
No, I think that's. Do
you think that's punishable by prosecution?
Yeah, I mean, if you lie about something and you sworn under oath or whatever the case may be, I think that's punishable. I mean, because I'm not sure what their how their forms are made up or whatever the case may be. But I believe if they came out and openly knowingly lied about what was going on to try and subvert an election or even try and keep a sitting president fighting something that's not true, I think something should happen about that. Period. Something should. I agree. I don't think you should be. I don't think anyone should be able to do that. Do I believe that they had grounds to believe that he is involved with some type of Russian type of collusion? Yeah, I think they had grounds to believe that. Do I believe the dossier?
Not after it was proven false. They didn't have grounds, and that right there. I mean, that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate right there. If you knew it was fake. And you knew it was paid for by a presidential candidate, and they knew it was fake to begin with, and to still put it out there, and still say it was real and it happened, that to me that should be punishable.
I'm gonna be honest. I almost think that this was like some of this stuff. I believe it was set up through like I think Putin's a very intelligent person, just like I think that in some degrees. Trump has a level of intelligence in certain aspects of things as well, too. And do I believe that someone could have fooled them to believe that this was true? Like, hey, this is what them paid them to believe that. Yeah, I do. But they shouldn't have went with it. They should have did more due diligence to make sure that it was right before they took it to the world as being true.
And that's wanted it to be part true. Of why that's part of the problem. They lied to the FISA court. Multiple times they lied to the FISA court about this Steele dossier, knowing full well it was bogus, the information was bogus, and they still ran with it for 4 years, impeached a president over false accusations, false information. No, and even Pelosi, Schiff, they all knew it was false too.
I don't know if they all knew it was false or not. I can't give you that one. I'll give you the peak. She didn't bring their names up. Did she bring up Pelosi, Schiff, all that? No, she didn't. She only brought up Brennan.
No, you're right. Brought up Comey. Those are the ones. We're going deep now. Because Pelosi and Schiff, they were following the orders.
You know that she would have loved to have brought them into the fold and said that she's going to prosecute them too. But to me, I don't think that the way that she's going about it, they should have already. If there was something to prosecute, they would have already done it. Because she had to. It's not like they don't already talk to each other and work together hand in hand already with the DOJ. That's easy. They got it. They got a more than happy DOJ person that will prosecute anything and make up any story right now. The person who just said that there's no Epstein list and Epstein didn't kill himself, and a whole bunch of or whatever the case she said he killed himself. It wasn't anyone else who killed Epstein, and then a bunch of others. She's willing to say whatever it takes. You know what I mean? So I think.
Well, it's not even it's not even a Bondi thing right now. It's not even. She just got it. She just got the referral from the DNI, and so it's going to take some time for it to go through the wash a little bit. So,
let's just be real. Do you believe that? Like, do you believe that works that way? I don't.
What?
I think if they're going to
prosecute, if
they're going to prosecute someone, if they have the information, she has the evidence, like she's saying she does. Because I don't think what I just read doesn't really tell me anything. They said that there was possible this. And you're not saying anything.
Possible.
You haven't.
It's a known fact that Brennan lied. Even people from the CIA that worked under him are coming out saying that he lied about it.
But okay, what I'm saying is this right here. but they're not giving really any real assessments of what they would look to charge him with.
Yes,
like,
they,
what are you
yes,
saying?
they do.
What is it? What would it be?
Because when he wrote the intelligence assessments, when Brennan wrote the intelligence assessments based on the Steele dossier, the FISA warrants, the whole 9 yards, knowing it was a false narrative, he still went ahead and put that in official intelligence assessments and sent to the president of the United States.
Like I'm saying, man, right here, if they have something to prosecute. If you got it, do it. Don't try to make this out to be some bombshell. Oh, Obama and these people came after Trump.
They're not going to go after Obama. They're not going to go after Obama.
They can't.
Like you said, they can't. But they can go after his underlings, and I think they should.
Absolutely. If there's something to go after him for, do it. Don't try to change the subject.
Can I tell you one thing I do not agree with that happened over the last week?
What's that?
They fired Comey's daughter, who was on the Epstein case, who was on a couple other cases.
Maxwell case, the Diddy case as well, too.
Yep. Yeah, they fired her.
That's why they fired her for the Diddy case, though. Why do you think that they were waiting to fire her?
Well, I think that was such a failure. The Diddy case was a failure. It really was. It was
a bad case. It was a bad case.
I don't know. I'd put somebody in jail for having 1,000 bottles of baby oil too. I mean, that's just.
I'm sure that you would. I'm sure you would. But he didn't do anything, though. That's the fact of the matter. As far as what they were trying to charge him with,
he beat the hell out of his girlfriend. He beat the hell out of other people too. He coerced people. I mean,
but they never charged him with.
They did.
He was never charged with that.
No,
they didn't charge him with no. They didn't charge him with physical assault on her at all. They didn't get charged him with that. They didn't. That wasn't even. He had. Listen,
so it was just the interstate prostitution.
Yeah, she took $20 million. Didn't even want him charged or prosecuted for that.
The RICO thing never would have flew. Period.
Because it was a one-person RICO, and at the same time, I mean, it just. I mean, honestly, what they were trying to charge him with pretty much was saying that he made her into a prostitute. In reality, she was calling people herself, having outside relationship with these same people, having relations with them outside of him. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't force you to do this. It wasn't like he made you do it. You did it on your own.
I honestly think there might have been some coercion to doing it.
They never proved that. He was never even.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Listen, they got people saying right now that they called her, like she would call the male, whatever they were, prostitutes, whatever you want to call, and call him and say, hey, can you make it on this day? This guy said to her, no, I have a date with my girlfriend. She cussed him out, told him, if you don't effing come when I tell you to come on this day, it's over. And I'm not going to, it's basically, I'm not dealing with you no more. And she did all this, threatened his life the whole 9. You know what I mean? Like, she's doing it. The guy came out and said, you know what? If anyone else should be, she was just as much as a part of this as he was, if not more. She would call me on her own time, and I would go out and meet up with her on the side, and we would do this outside of him. So is there a
statute of limitations on beating the shit out of somebody on a camera?
I believe there is. I believe there's a statute of limitation on all crimes except for murder. Yes, there's a statute of limitation on all. I mean, in reality,
he beat the hell out of her.
I mean, he's beat her up probably more times than just that. But that should have been, if that were the case, he's guilty. Take that, and he's guilty of that. But if you're taking what they're charging him with about people coming in and everyone having lawful sex together. That's not, I mean, come on. I mean, do you want people coming in your bedroom saying, hey, you got all this baby oil, you got these dildos, whatever you got over here, this is that and the third, you should be charged with a crime? You know what I mean? For how you choose to have relations?
No. I don't think so.
To me, a person, if the first thing you want is money, but for someone beating the hell out of you, then that tells me a lot about what's going on. You do both, because you could have convicted him of a crime and got his money, because you can take a person to a civil trial right after a criminal trial. It's easier even because you're found guilty of a criminal trial. It's 50% on civil trials, only 51%. It's on a criminal, it's like 100%. You have that reason beyond a reasonable doubt. You know what I mean? Type of deal. Civil, it's easy.
Do you think he gets jail time?
I think that what he's already the crimes that he
was
convicted of.
5 years per, right? It's 5 years per count that he got convicted of.
I think he's already done like almost a year.
Is it 5 or 10? It's either 5 or 10.
He's a first time offender. He's already done a year. I mean, I think he gets time served. If anything, if they try to give him time over this, like, he didn't even get the 2 girls who he's saying that they were used as prostitutes, but he paid for both of their houses. He was paying for one of the girls' houses right now. To this day, he's still paying for your house right now for where you live.
I think he'll get like 10 years probation, something like that.
I mean, and it's crazy that he'd be even getting in trouble.
10 years
like,
probation.
Like, how are you mad at him? Because the one of them called him and said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you an all-star game. I'm gonna sleep with like 4 guys for you." He didn't call and ask her to do this. She called him. That's crazy to me. Like, okay, we're consenting adults. Nobody who was here was a child. There was nothing else going on here. And this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is America. This is your freedom to do whatever you want to do. I just don't see that he should be convicted of that. If it were for him beating her up in the elevator by the elevator, yeah, that's easy. Right there, right in front of you. Convicted. Yeah. You know what I mean? Probably take a plea bargain if I'm him right now. All the other bruises and scars she had on her, you better take a plea bargain. But for sexual relations that are consensual by 2 consenting adults, and because you made a decision now later on, I look back on that and I don't think I did. You know what I mean? I look back on, don't think I did the right thing in a lot.
Well,
you can't take that back.
Before you say that, there are a lot of times where women who have been raped or sexually assaulted don't make a case of it at that time and do it later. I mean, that's happened.
It happens a lot. It does. It does happen a lot. I'm not saying that can't happen. What I'm saying is you can't come back and regret your decision. I'm not saying if you got raped, that's different. That's not your decision. That's like someone raped you and took something from you. But if you were in a room and you decided to have sex with 2 women, you can't be like, oh, I really regret that I had sex with those 2 women. Let me go ahead and say that they raped me. No. You made a decision to say, I'm going to do that. I've made so many decisions in my life where I'll sit back like, I probably shouldn't have did that. But we
won't go there. We won't go there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't push my, what my culpability is onto someone else. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And they all came out and said, did he force you to do this? They said no. Women said no. He was not forcing me. They even made cases. That's
why, and that really, I don't think they should have fired Comey's daughter, but if she was,
why don't you think they should have fired her for that? She lost 3 major cases of she got Maxwell, I guess. She got 20-year sentence on Maxwell.
Yeah, but you didn't get Maxwell for near what they could have. Not even close.
Didn't do anything to her. Doesn't it seem strange? Okay, you got Epstein, he dies. I think she had the Epstein case, didn't she?
I don't know if she did or not.
I think she was a part of. I think she was part of the Maxwell.
Maybe she was on. Maybe she was on the team. I don't know, but she wasn't the lead prosecutor.
And then also the Diddy trial. So I think this was all political, though. They fired her. That was political. This is a political. I mean, because
it very well could be. It very well could be. I mean, she has lost some major cases, yeah. But I mean, is there a sprinkling, a hint, a little bit of truth there? Yeah, I do think it was there was some sprinkling of truth about it being political. That's why when I heard about it the other day, when I heard about it last week, I was like, that's not a good look. I mean, yeah, you can kind of justify it because of her results, but because her last name is Comey, that's a different story.
A good look. It's not a good look.
No,
I mean,
it's not a good look. Yeah,
they're probably going to go after her anyways. Even if she would have won the case, they probably would have went after her for that. But you got to look at who you're dealing with, though. You got to look at who you're dealing with. You're dealing with Trump. You know what I mean? Like his administration. His administration has shown a severe capability of being very petty. That's just who they are. They're okay. Look at what they just came out with. Just here, Trump's trying to push that. Hey, I want all the sports teams to change their names back to either the Washington Redskins. He wants them to go back to Washington. He wants the Cleveland Indians to go back to the Cleveland Indians. He said that he's going to shut down the stadium.
You got to remember during that point in time when they were quote unquote forced to change their name, and that's what it was, because even Indian tribes around that area, people that are Native Americans, so they didn't want that to happen. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't understand why. I mean, why change name to Guardians from Indians? I didn't understand where that was. The Redskins, I can kind of see it a little bit, but Indians, I don't know.
I don't really know a lot of natives who call themselves Indians, though.
I don't know how many. I mean, they were West Indians. We had
Were they West Indians?
No, they're Indians. I think Indians were
who made that name up to them, though? You know what I mean? Like, who gave you guys this name? Like, you're West Indians. You understand what I'm saying to you, though? You understand what I'm saying? But this is, you know, like, they call themselves Native Americans. That's what I always hear them say. I know we got a bunch of Native Americans around here.
The Washington Native Americans. I mean,
they didn't want to say that. That's just too much. We like the Redskins. Who I've never heard a person call themselves a Redskin before. Have you ever heard of a Native person? I have red skin. They're like, this is my shirt. That's like saying that they're pretty much look like this. And, you know, like, I've never heard that before.
No,
so some of these names, you have to look at, like, some of these things that we've been indoctrinated into, like Aunt Jemima. You know what I mean? I use Aunt Jemima. I wouldn't know. I didn't even think about it. But if you look at the picture of the lady on her, Uncle Ben, look at the picture of the person on there, you have to understand the connotations of it. Like, if you look at old school, like, cartoons and how they depicted black people and Native Americans and everyone else, you know what I mean? Like, you saw what they did. I saw it too. But as a kid, that's being pushed into your head. You don't know any different. So that's what you think that is real. Like, I'm thinking, okay, but every time you see Superman, Batman, all the great things about, you know, anything going on, you see who you saw back then. You know what I mean? So it's an indoctrination type of thing. I think that people wanted to change that narrative. They could have come out with, they could have called themselves the Washington Native Americans, but no one wanted to do that. Or, you know what I mean? No, that just sounds. You could have done that. You could have made it a more politically correct thing, but it's either the Redskins or some. It was Dan Snyder. He was like, you know, Washington football team. Well, that's what he came out with. He was so angry.
Dan Snyder, he did not want to change the name. He was against it 100%.
Dude. I think he was a racist anyway. I think he had some weird stuff that he would say and do, from what I recall about Dan Snyder. But it's just, to me, was I against the names? No, I grew up in Ohio, so we all knew the Cleveland Indians as the Cleveland Indians. That's what we knew them as, you know. But did we ever? I never lived around Native American tribes at that time, but here I do, and I have Native American friends who, you know, and I'm not saying that they're so adverse and so against these names, but they take pride in who they are. And there's you know, when you've come over and you genocided a people, and now
I'm actually surprised they haven't stopped people from doing the tomahawk chop.
I mean,
you know,
I think
that surprises me. For if you're going to change the name of a football team and a baseball team, and you're still letting them do this, which is a clear that to me is a clear sign of violence. And you know what you're saying that all
they call
Native
the Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are a little different though, because that's like there's no, like, you don't look at that with any kind of a racial stand. There's not the Chiefs. That's like a chief of a tribe. That's like a king almost to them. That's a positive to a degree versus the Redskins. You know what I mean? Like, you think that'd be like someone said, the something black skins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to be here. You know, I'm like, that sounds crazy to me. You know, here you start talking like that. You know what I mean? Or something else. You know, like, you got to look at those things. I mean, it's just, I think that we have to understand that a lot of people never had to grow up with those type of imageries as who they are and what they are before in their lives. They never had to deal with that.
You know, it was,
you know, and so,
but you also ran into a time of a lot of political correctness, a lot of tearing down of statues, a lot of changing names. Because I get some of that, but at the same time, I think we took it too far as a society, period. I'm not saying black, white, Asian, Latino. I think we all took it too far. I think there was a point in time where people were just so dead on against everything. It was just a couple of years that they were just dead set on ruining the world at one point, to me. But to each their own. I don't agree with it, but
I know I get where you're coming from, because that world was shaped for certain people's imagery to be accepted. So I would think that you're ending my world as well too. If you start tearing things down and saying, you know what, this is not good for everybody else. If I went and got a person who was the leader of basically the rebellion that wanted slavery, and I thought that it was horrible that a bunch of black kids should go to a school named after him, you know, a person who was a treasonous traitor to this country, I don't know how that becomes a problem to somebody. Who would that become a problem to? But that's our heritage. Your heritage is being a traitor. Well, that's not good for us. We don't need that around us. Period. I don't want to ever celebrate a traitor in this country. Never ever. No. I don't think that's a good thing at all. I think I don't know how if we ever have done that in this nation before. You know what I mean? And so, and to me, I think that when something's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, that's been pushed on us, and with no kind of like, no one put any cut on it. It just came straight at you in your face. Whatever it is, this is the way we depict you. This is who you are. We'll play in blackface. We'll do whatever else. We'll make the Egyptians all white people when we show you to them as actors. Everything's treated like this. It's going to seem like a swing when the truth comes out, because the truth has to come out at some point in time.
I get that. I'm not against that. I just think it went to the point of, when you're starting to rip down statues and, causing public chaos, you can do it a better way. You can do it in a civil manner. You can go petition. You can go say, listen, these are the reasons why we think this needs to be taken down. Do it in a manner befitting a human being. Don't go crazy about it. That's the way I looked at it.
Do you think that a U.S. military base or a ship should be named after a Confederate traitor? All of them are traitors. All of them. There's not one Confederate that I can consider not a traitor to this country.
No, I don't think it should have been. But
there are bases.
But you got to remember the time that it happened. Now that they renamed Fort Bliss not Fort Bliss, but Fort Benning, back to Fort Bragg, it's not named after the same people. It's not named after the original.
Fact of the matter is,
Bragg,
it'll be changed again when we get another president in office, and this is just be a game that they play, and this is just to me a dumb game to play. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. You're wasting tax dollars.
Well, you were wasting tax dollars, change them anyway.
No, I don't think. I think what you're doing is correcting history. I think that's where people. I think that's where we kind of get into a point to where we get so angry about things changing, because these were lies that were told. These are not truths. These were lies. No. With the way they came in, and they say, "Oh, this is what happened," when this is not what really happened. We have a whole holiday based on Christopher Columbus discovering America, which is not even true. Which was never true. It was a lie. There's people here already. There's lots of things, and so, but this is what's been put into my head. I was a kid. This is what I learned in school. No one cared about what I learned in school, but they don't want to talk to kids about slavery and other things that are going on in this country right now. They don't want to talk about that anymore. And this is not to try to shut down, a conversation, because sometimes there's hard conversations that will be had, and I respect your opinion on them. And so, but the fact of the matter is, they could tell me that and have no problem. Why is it wrong to tell a person the truth? This is what.
I don't have a problem with that. I think you're 100% right. But what I didn't like was the way it was done, where there was public violence, there was burning of shit, there was tearing down of shit. I mean, it was not done in a civil manner, and I think it could have been handled differently. Like Charlottesville, like in Charlottesville, public violence when the guy rammed the truck
everywhere. Now, I think that there was a lot less when it came to the statue thing. There was a lot more protests as far as like, here, just tear it down. I think the violence, any kind of violence, may have occurred during like the summer when everyone was in for COVID and Black Lives Matter kind of pushed. Once they saw the thing with George Floyd, people just they were already cooped up and they were sick of it. People get sick of certain things. They just had a protest on a bridge where these cops came and they beat the crap out of the protesters. Like and there's only like 6 people on the bridge. It was just crazy how they like punching on this guy in his face for no reason. There was already 6 guys on top of him, but you're taking out your anger on this. What they're doing right now is they're showing you, hey, we're going to put down any type of resistance. And that's what this country is based off of, is resistance and change and understanding.
Not violent resistance. Not violent.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the first thing we had here was the founding of this country was violent resistance. The founding of this country was violent resistance. That's the fact. Right or wrong?
But no, that's true. But there was a reason for that. There were reasons behind that. I mean, what are the? If you're not following, so if you're talking about ICE and immigration,
no, I'm talking about any type of resistance that we have to authority in this country. That's what made America great, a great country, because we feel free, even though we're not in a lot of ways. We feel free. We can do what we want, and we're gonna if something's wrong, we're gonna fight about it. Other countries are gonna put out the military and they're gonna start shooting. That's what they're going to do. That's where we're heading right now with this president who's in office. That's what's going to end up happening sooner than later. Quote, mark my words. It's going to be something that he's going to do where he's going to push the button. Trust me, man. He's already tried it in LA. You don't think that he did, but he did. He tried it in LA already. He put in 2,000 National Guards and he sent in like 700, Marines? Man, we've never had that happen. Not with something. What
was the reason for it, Wesley? What was the reason for it?
Nothing, because you have a few people protesting on a bridge. It wasn't like the whole city was burning. That's not true. It was not a factual. They displayed something that was not real. They showed it was a little small. This was smaller than the LA riots of '92, way smaller. It was you have to go back and look. I did research on this. It was a small portion of LA where this was happening at. It was in the broader sense of it. It wasn't going on. It just made you feel that way. It wasn't happening that way. It's just not true. You know what I mean? You have to go back and look at it. He's pushing the buttons. He's stirring the pot, man. He's trying to make these blue states and blue cities defy him to the point where he can send in the military and show and put. But he's not doing it where if you're going to do things there, do it everywhere. But I don't believe he should do it anywhere. We should never send in troops.
You also have to remember these states and cities are known as sanctuary cities, which there is no such thing. There is no such thing as a sanctuary city.
So if there's no such thing, then why are you sending? Why? Okay, cool. Then that's great. Then why are you?
It doesn't exist.
Why are Texas sending people to those cities then and saying, "Hey, you're a sanctuary"? If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, right? There's no such thing, correct?
Because they want to accept them.
No. You just said there's no such thing, right? It's not realistic. Okay.
There's no law stating that it's a sanctuary city.
So then,
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I think.
Is there a law in the book that says?
I think that they probably pass laws within their own, because these are individual states and cities at that point in time. This is not federal.
Those laws
are superseded by federal law.
Exactly. So therefore, they aren't those laws.
So technically, it doesn't exist. So how can Texas then take people and send them to those places, because those laws aren't even real?
Because those cities take people in. They've taken in. They've said, "Hey,"
but those laws are not real.
They said, "No. They are allowed." They said, bring them up here. We don't care.
They never said that.
They
never said that. They basically said, if people are here, we accept you. They didn't say bring anyone here. They said here, we're not going to treat you. We're not going to treat you like they treat you in other states and cities and things of that nature, where they're trying to act like they don't want you there, but they really do. Because then you heard what Trump said. Oh, well, the farmers, let's give them the okay to tell us who can stay in this country and who can't. Come on, they really do want you there, because they're going to work for them for dirt cheap. They really, was it 40-something% of the?
Yeah, I know we've gone over this. 40% of the workforce.
But even I think it's even higher than that. Construction crews.
I think it was
42%, but those construction crews, like over 40% of the construction crews in Texas are migrant workers as well too. Like people who do not, who don't have legal documentation. So I mean, these people, so you're a huge workforce for the state who's acting like they really don't want you there.
But there's also
using this labor
that aren't doing that aren't working or taking money from the state that they live in, or whatever it is. They're getting benefits for not doing anything. We have millions of people doing that today, and that's draining resources, mostly in blue states.
There's 71% of all economic output is from blue counties. Blue counties, not even blue state, blue counties. Over 50% of the entire output of the United States of America are from us, from I think 8 or 10 blue cities. 50% of the economic output of the entire United States of America is from like 8 blue cities.
I don't know about that.
I have facts.
I don't know about
that. I got facts.
I'll look that up, but I don't think so.
It might be 12, but let's just say it's like 8 to 12 blue cities. 71%. Go back and look it up, because even I know that Gavin Newsom went on. I can't remember that it was a guy who was a Republican. He has a podcast. It's like Sean, whatever his name, I forget his name. Sean something. Went on his podcast, spit these facts out, and Sean's like, "This is true." I mean, Texas takes $71 billion from the federal government, takes it as well for a form of welfare. California pays out $83 billion to the federal government in a form of taxes to help the rest of these states. These are just facts, man. 71% of our country's economic output are from blue counties.
So if that's the case, hold on. If that's the case, why are people leaving California, leaving New York to go to red states?
Probably because it's cheaper, but you didn't know what the taxes in Texas are higher for people on the poorer side than they are for people who have the money. And
we're not talking about Texas. We're talking about California and New York, because their taxes are so high because they're terrible.
Who has the largest
government?
Who has the largest population?
California.
Okay, so until that changes, we shouldn't I mean, and you also said there's 20 something million illegals in this country, and they're mostly coming through Texas and, you know, I mean, maybe California and probably Arizona and you know, Mexico, right? So they should have a huge, they should easily be able to take over the population of California with no problem. Until that happens, I don't really, I mean, when you're moving into barren areas,
they're going to those states because
cheaper.
they're allowed, they're not going to be sent back.
It's because
it's not cheaper to live. It's not cheaper to live in California.
Cheaper to live in Texas.
And there's a lot of illegals.
It's cheaper to live in Texas. It's cheaper to live in Texas. It's a lot cheaper to live in Texas. But you got to imagine.
I don't think they pay state payroll tax.
I'm not sure.
In Texas.
But what I'm saying, I think about this. This is why a lot of people moved away from where they live at. It's going to happen until it changes. And people are saying, "Don't come here. You're raising our cost of living." What they're saying is you're raising our cost. Okay.
But see, here's the problem: California, New York, run by Democrats for how many years now?
Oh my goodness, man. We're not going to do this right here because I don't want to get run by Democrats, but they're doing
and they're running it into the ground. Why do you think taxes are so
California would be like the fourth largest GDP in the entire world. Would have the fourth largest. California would have the fourth largest GDP in the entire world if they were to separate from the United States right now.
And how many billions of dollars?
New York is up there as well too.
And how many billions of dollars in debt are they?
I'm not going to say California's any bill. I don't know what they are. I mean, let's look at these other states and talk about that as well. So let's not, let's talk about the red states that have the lowest education, lowest healthcare results, poorest states. You know what I mean? Come on, let's be real here.
Better taxes.
They don't have nobody to tax. They have no one to tax. No one, because no one lives in most of these states. No one does. Let's just be real. Let's stop acting like blue states help this country would not exist, like Trump likes to say, if it were not for blue states and blue counties. 71% of all economic output are from blue counties. 71%. Take those away, you got nothing. You got an agricultural giant. That's what you got here, pretty much. So let's not act like, these are facts. You're going to be able to go back and look these things up. These are all facts. And this is just what it is. We don't want to sit back and we shouldn't have an internal war because you're not going to win that. It's just not going to happen. You guys all California, blah, blah, blah. Everything's so bad about these places, but they're the ones putting the money into the government.
I think the real problem is Oregon, but I'm just saying that's just me.
Now Oregon's the problem now. Oregon's probably mostly a red state.
The only reason it's a problem because you're living there, man.
I don't live in Oregon. I live in Washington. I don't know why you keep saying that. I don't live in Oregon State. I live in Washington. And Washington is one of the best, has one of the best economic outputs of anywhere else too. We got all the big, Amazon was here. We got Microsoft. All the big dogs are from
here. Did you say Amazon was there?
I think that he might have moved some of the headquarters. He started up here in this.
Yeah.
We still have them here.
But he got smart and moved them the hell out of there.
Boeing was here, but you know what? They still have. I think their base, their headquarters is not here anymore. But we still have Boeing here in our state. They understand where the smart people are around here. Okay, they can move. I'm like this. Let's move the easy operations or anything in nuts and bolts. We can go ahead and send that somewhere else. But any of the important stuff, let's go ahead and keep that where the smart guys are up there in Washington. That's what they're gonna do. Okay, let's be honest here. Okay, we anyway can let's put doors on the cars. Yeah, we can go ahead and send that off to somewhere down in Arkansas or somewhere. Yeah, but the important parts, the computer systems of the car, let's go ahead and keep those in the blue states where we're going to have the engineers and the people to do the work.
Dallas has become a boom when it comes to computers and technology. And it has taken over from Silicon Valley.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, it has not. I'm trying to. Hey, you have more Fortune 500 companies in California than anywhere else. Factually, go look all this stuff.
I don't know if that's true anymore.
Go look it up. Gavin Newsom came out and said, listen, I looked it up too. Gavin Newsom came out and said
anything Gavin Newsom says anyway.
It's not like I like the guy, but he made me like him a little bit more with this interview, a little bit. But I don't like some of his policies. But he came out and said this on it's like Sean Spicer or somebody. I don't know. Maybe it's not his name, Sean Spicer. Sean Strickland, I think that's what his name was. His name is.
I think Spicer has one. Spicer has a podcast.
Is it Spicer or is it Strickland? Is it the guy with the bald head? You know what I mean? I think it's Strickland. I almost want to say it's Strickland, but this guy's a Republican. He's like, one of those guys who does the conspiracies and all that kind of stuff. Had him on his show and he spit out all these facts and he was like, man, say it again. He's like, yeah, I looked it up. It's true. And this guy, this is a Republican.
Your facts are wrong.
Oh, wait. Go ahead. Tell me. What is
New
my
York
fact?
City? New York City has the most Fortune 500 companies.
Oh, New York City.
With,
What's second?
With 49. Chicago is second with 30. Dallas is fourth. Houston is third with 24. Dallas
You said cities. You said cities now. No. States.
Cities. Look, they're states.
You're talking.
New York is a state. New York City is in the state of New York.
Oh man, this is crazy! I can't believe you made that. This is a huge gaffe right here, online in front of everyone. We're not taking this out because Chicago is not a state.
It's a
Dallas
city
is not a
within the state of Illinois.
It doesn't matter. So, but that okay. So now you have to say, okay, you got
all right,
Bay Area, you got LA. Look at states. Yeah,
state.
Do that one. Yeah,
California has 58.
Oh,
Texas and New York have 52 each.
Oh, so number one is California. Oh, but I was right though. But I was right.
But Illinois has 32.
But I was right.
But you're not. But you said by a long mile. You said by a long mile. I didn't say that.
I said they have more. I never said that. You just put words in my mouth. This is crazy.
Let's rewind it. Let's rewind it. You said they have more by a margin.
I wouldn't have to say that. I wouldn't. Why would I say that? Why would I just say they got more than anyone else? You don't know your. All that matters. Six Fortune 500 companies is a lot, though. Don't act like that's not a lot.
We're gonna rewind.
Let's not act like 6 Fortune 500 companies is not a lot. That's a lot.
That 58 in California will no longer be there after the next couple of years because they know they can't make any money there.
You know what people know? That's
truth. That's facts.
Texas is a state that I mean, that's not facts until it happens. How are you? It's crazy.
I guarantee you, within the last 10 years. It probably went from 100 down to 58. I'm not saying that's true or a 100% fact. That's my opinion. But I guarantee you that gap closed, and it's gonna flip-flop.
It's probably dropped a few. We've got Texas trying to become more business friendly, but let's be honest, people don't want to live in Texas. People don't want to live in Texas. They don't have any good water. It's horrible over there. People like living in California. It's nice. Texas is not a bad place. Don't get me wrong. I've been to Houston. I've been a bunch of places in Texas. Not a bad place, but it's just a lot of Texas is like a country within itself. It's so big. It's huge. You know what I mean? However, it's like it's so barren in so many different places. You're gonna have to move to. It's like a city type of environment. You have to move there. I think Elon's kind of created his own.
So in 2015, California had 70 Fortune 500 companies.
Mm-hmm.
So in 10 years, they've already dropped down to 58 Fortune 500 companies within 10 years.
Okay, it happens. It's part of the game. People might have moved offshore. Things happen, man.
But what's the reason for it? Taxes.
Who knows? I think it's taxes, but you have to remember their taxes, who they're taxing in their state, they're taxing the wealthy people in their state. Most of the people who are being taxed have lower tax rates. Of people who are poor in their states have lower, and even middle class have lower tax rates than people in other states who like Texas and people like that. That's a fact. You know what I mean? It's all factual information. Yeah, that came out and someone spoke on, and that's why I'm regurgitating it now. These are all facts. So, I mean, depending upon who you're taxing, if you have a lot more wealthy people, which California has in their state, they're going to get taxed, and they should. And that's just how I think it should happen as well too. And so, I mean, hey, sometimes you're going to lose a little bit with that. But at the same time, if you gained all these Fortune 500 people, why are you still taking $71 billion from the federal government? More than what you put in.
That one I don't know. That one I don't know.
Sounds horrible.
That's a fact.
71 billion. Yeah, California puts in 83 billion more, and Texas takes out 71 billion more. Look it up. That's a fact as well. And you know what I'm saying? But and so that's how I look at things. We have a bunch of debtor states who are taking money out, and they're mostly all red states, and they're complaining about everybody else. But you're not even doing anything to kind of contribute here. You're eating off the land. You're living high on the hog off everyone else's hard work, and you want to talk about them. It's crazy. It's like a kid talking about their parents when their parents are paying all the bills. Oh, I hate my parents. They're the worst. Oh my God. Why do they get to vote and put people in office? Because they're the ones who's making the money and putting the money back into the federal government. That's what's going on around here. Yeah,
so they do take money, but they also give more money back to the federal government than what they receive.
Who?
Texas.
No, they say they take out 71 billion more dollars than what they get, what they put in.
I'm looking at usaspending.gov.
I'm just saying this is something that was talked about, that was put out in the open, and it was not refuted. It was not refuted by a Republican on the other side who said, you know what? It's facts. I looked it up.
Okay.
Facts.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because of like military bases, something. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the energy sector. I don't know. But that's what's happening in that state right there.
2022, California received $173 billion.
But they put in more than what they put in more money than what they took out.
So does Texas.
We'll have to look that one back up, and we'll get back with you guys on the next episode. But with that, we'll go ahead and close things out. I'm your host, Wesley. This is my co-host, Steve. This is Civil Discourse, and we'll see you guys next week.
Take care.